Hi everybody, Martyn the Flicking Feathers again today, and I'm tying Chico's orange and yellow bendback. It's a great pattern, designed for redfish originally, but I mean it works for all manner of species. So you should tie them up, but I mean any fish that you're casting to and cover. Mangrove jacks will eat this. Largemouth bass will eat it, and you know, any predatory game fish that's in structure or in weeds. As always, I'll put a materials list in the description, along with a link to the Patreon page for anybody that wants to support the channel, get access to the members only content, the online tying classes, as well as being entered into the giveaways. Alternatively, like the video, share the video, watch it all the way to the end. All that helps the channel to grow. Right, so I've got my hook and my vise. This is a standard saltwater hook. I've put a bendback in it. Now you can buy pre-bent hooks if you like, or hooks designed for bendbacks. Arex now do one that's a really nice hook, and I believe Umpqua also do one as well. If you're going to bend your own, it's dead easy, but make sure you don't over bend them, right? That wee line there, that black line, or even the sticks maybe better. You only want to bend it slightly so that the shank's in line with this, like the back of the gape there, so that you've got plenty of hooking ability left, right? That pull is pulling the hook in, it's not pulling again. If you bend too far, you're pulling in that direction, right? You want to be pulling so that the spear of the hook's still coming into the fish. Anyway, so I've got some fluorescent orange danvels on here, and I'm coming down the shank to say about in line with the point or so. I'll come back up, just spiral it back up, just getting a bed of thread, and then I'm going to get some gold body wrap. You can use mylar or oval tinsel if you like, as long as it's gold. Catch that in. Now I've drawn that back there so that I'm not really having any build up. In fact, I can actually come back a bit further. I don't want any build up in the bent section. Right, so that's tied, so this is still clear for tying the wing and the hackle. Then I'm just going to come down, locking everything in place, nice tight, touching or close to touching wraps. I'll come back up the same, solid base. Set that there. I'm going to just put a half hitch in to wind this. Now, before I wrap, I'm going to saturate this with head cement. Right, this is why I like the body braid, the body wrap, because it's like multi-filaments. The head cement will get in between and sort of soak into it, and it makes it more durable. If you wind a flat tinsel, head cement or varnish doesn't really make much difference. You'd be better winding over wet liquid fusion if you want to wind it over something. So I'm just going to come up with the body, and you'll see as you wind it yourself, you're pushing the bead of that cement, and it's also getting soaked in. That makes for a very durable body. Take that out of the way, and then now I'm at the front, I'll just catch that off. Trim it close and just tidy everything up. Wing, I'm using fluorescent yellow bucktail. You can use ordinary yellow if you want. I like the fluorescence. I've got a lot of faith. If I'm tying a brightly coloured fly, I think I might as well tie it with fluorescent material, so that it pops a bit on a day with a high UV index for one thing, but also in the water the colour stays truer, although you'll not be fishing these at depth. So I'm just cleaning my bucktail, taking out any wee short hairs or anything. If there's any really long ones, I can take them out and stack them back in. Actually got a wee bit much there, so I'll just take some out. I mean, you can tie it heavier if you like, but I think that's fine. So I've got, I mean, I don't know, half a pencil. And I like, basically, what I kind of like is the hooks the hook point's just ahead of halfway on these. I'm not tying a huge one. Obviously, if you're tying a bigger bendback pattern, you might have to move that hook slightly forward, but that's fine, you know. I don't want the hook any further back than this. So just take a couple of loose wraps, get that in, get a grip of it, and then tighten up. And I'm not too worried about that front end. I just kind of roughly cut it to length, but I'll come in and I'll actually use a tapered cut. I'll bring my thread to the front and kind of come up into the cut ends. I'll catch a few of them, building that up at the hook eye there. And don't be shy with your head here, right? You need a decent size head. I've got to wind back slightly just to give me a bit of space for the hackle. Flash is just gold. Let's say half a dozen on either side. 8 if you like. You can always remove it if it's too much, right? Never be afraid to take a scissor to your fly on the water. Right there. Be utilitarian, you know, that don't assume that the fly's going to stay where it is. Get it cut, trim it up if you're not happy with how it looks on the water. So just catch that in on my side first, and I'm tying it kind of at the midpoint of the head so that it's easy for me to come across, and I can make sure that when I draw it back, both sides are flanking the wing, right? Especially on my offside, right? That's coming right down the middle of that wing rather than up on top, which can happen if you're not careful. Now I'll just cut these at kind of different lengths. So they don't want to stick together. And I don't like the flash being much longer than the wing on these. Maybe for your fishing, that'll be what you want. You know, you can leave it longer if you wish. I've got a fluorescent orange hackle, nice webby job. It's just a saddle. You could even use slapping if you wanted like a denser collar. Just clean that. Catch it off. It's nice and thin, so we'll just fold it back, break it away. So put a wee half hitch in so I don't bump my thread. And then I'm just going to double this as I wind it. Just sweep it back. Now be careful. Remember it's a bend back when you're hackling it, right? It's very easy to stab your finger. So just be careful. And just put one turn in front of the other. If it's no just sitting the way you like, just go back a half a turn or so. It'll generally, on that second wrap, it will generally go where you want it. If it doesn't lie the first time, because you've put the curve into the stem, and it'll lie down. Now that's fine. I'll come come across my thread and keep everything nice and tight. Just wind down. I'll fold that tip back and just wind back up over it. Break it away. And then I'm just going to tie back a wee bit, just encouraging that hackle to sit back and letting me build my head as well. That looks quite good. And as I say, put a decent sized head in this. The head's part of the fly. I'm just building this up, seeing where it's kind of low or whatever. And then I'll put finish. And you can finish here, you can paint eyes or you can stick eyes on. Away the way. I'm going to just use a flat tape eye and then a bit of resin. So I'm going to crease the eyes on the card. And then I'll take them off if I can. Now I like to use just a wee spot of super glue just to hold them. Now I normally say don't use super glue on your saltwater flies, but this is all going to be very thoroughly sealed. Coat it over with the resin. This I just don't want the eye moving when I do the finish. So there's one. Let's do that. And these eyes are also fluorescent, right? They're the chartreuse, fluorescent chartreuse tab eyes, tape eyes I should say. Fine. I'm going to get some solar res thin. Put a drop of that on. You don't need a ton. Just going to work that around. To the top. Just basically do the same on the bottom. Just make sure it's all sealed. You can just drag the resin around, get it in behind the eye and all that. And that's you. Chico's yellow and orange bendback. Deadly fly. Dead simple. Very, very effective. So I hope that was useful. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, remember to give me a thumbs up below, and we'll see you for another video. Tight lines guys, bye.